Good morning. How are you guys this morning? So I was out here having my morning coffee, getting ready, about to go to church, um, and I was kind of inspired, I guess, to spread something or to share something that my dad showed me. Oh no, it was a long time ago. I was pretty young, but it's kind of a joke, and it kind of and this is how it goes. So there's these two guys, and they drive to work every morning together. One, of course, goes to church every Sunday. One of them, he doesn't. Um, every week, the guy that goes to church, same story. Hey, we got a great sermon coming up this Sunday. Why don't you come down? I'll save you a seat. It'll be awesome. Same reply pretty much every time. I'll go. I'll go next week. I've got some things to do. I've got some chores I got to do around the house. You know, stuff like that. And he would let him know, one of these times you might not have that chance. You might not have next week to go, and I'll be all right. I'm still young. I got plenty of time. So, and sure enough, one of those drives to work, it got in a wreck. So they got in a wreck, and they're floating up to heaven, and they can't believe it. Oh my gosh, they see the wreck down below, and holy cow, and the one that went to church all the time, he felt something in his back pocket, and he pulled it out, and it was a ticket, and it said admit one, and it wasn't there this morning for sure, and they're both floating up to heaven, and the guy that didn't go to church, he saw this, and he kind of started to get nervous, and he said, what do you think that's for? And the other guy said, I don't know, I'm not sure, and the guy that didn't go to church said, you think that's your ticket into heaven? And he said, I would assume. And the guy that didn't go to church, he's looking, he's searching his pockets, he's pulling them in and out. And he says, well, I don't have one. You think they're not going to let me in? And he said, I don't know. And he said, well, I'll tell you what. It was a pretty bad wreck. Why don't you rip some of your ticket and give it to me? And when we get up there, we'll tell them, I don't know what happened. It must have got ripped in the wreck. And he was a pretty good guy, so he says, okay, I guess we can do that. Maybe it'll work. I don't know. So he handed it to his buddy, and his buddy said, well, I've only got a little bit, and you've got a whole bunch. I don't think they're going to believe that. You better rip off some more to make it look a little bit more fair. And so he said, okay, yeah, you're all right. Your part is a little bit smaller than mine, so here you go. And the guy that didn't go to church, he said, how about you let me go in first, because you got the real ticket, and I'll give this to them and say, there it is, and maybe they'll just rush me in, and then you can come in after me. And so they get up there, and sure enough, there's a guy standing there, and says, do you have a ticket? First guy that didn't go to church, he says, yeah, we were in a wreck, and there it is. And the guy said, okay, I understand that. That's cool. So tell me about your life then, sir. Do you know Jesus Christ? And he said, yeah. Oh yeah, girl. Whew, great guy. He's an awesome guy. He said, well, that's wonderful. And did you go to church much? And well, I tried. I went a few times. I think my mom took me a couple Christmases. You know, and so yeah, I went. And he said, okay, well that's good. Well, do you know Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior? Well, I was going to get around to it. I was going to do that, but stuff kept coming up, and it just happened to be what it was. And he said, yeah, sir, you do have a ticket. I'm sorry, sir, but you didn't live the life that God wanted you to live. So I'm sorry, you're not going to be able to make it in here. And so the second guy came up, and he said, sir, do you have a ticket? He said, yeah, I do. Here it is. He said, do you know Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior? He said, I do. I know him very well. I went to church regularly, and I tried to live my life the best I could to be an example for Christ. And he said, yes, sir, you do. You do have the right ticket. Why don't you come on in? So it was pretty cool. Like I said, I don't remember when my dad showed me that. It was a long, long time ago, and it stuck with me forever. And I want to show you guys how that's done, and maybe sometime you get the opportunity, you can show it to somebody else. So it's really simple. You got to remember the story, of course, and I don't think I've ever said it twice the same. But you take a plain sheet of paper and you fold one corner over, then you fold your other corner over, and you take that whole thing and you fold it in half. And that's your ticket. And you want to rip a little strip, and then you want to rip another strip. And everything else will just play out on its own. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you get the opportunity to share that someday.